How many discounts does USA Auto Insurance offer? Too many to say here. Multi-vehicle discount, safe driver discount, new vehicle discount, storage discount, legacy.
How many discounts will you stack up? Tap the banner or visit usaa.com/auto discounts. Restrictions apply.
Get ready for the most wonderful time of the year with exciting red tag savings available now on the 2026 Chevy Equinox, blending style and versatility with a roomy interior that's loaded with intuitive tech and first-class comfort. Or choose great offers on the feature pack tracks with ample cargo space, a large HD touchscreen, and more. It's an undeniable value. This holiday season, it all comes together in a Chevrolet. See your New Mexico Chevy dealers.
This radio commercial is about selling your home. And while you'd expect to hear all about the stress, chaos, the mountains of paperwork, strangers touching your cabinets, here's nothing. Because Open Door is the opposite of chaos, with an all-cash offer to close in as little as 14 days. No hassles, no making repairs. And yes, it's boring, but when it comes to selling your home, boring is good. Open Door, a simpler way to sell. Get your all-cash offer at opendoor.com/radio. Eligibility and offer price may vary.
Balls, probably two of those and a bunch of things.
Then I'll turn it over to you, but don't turn it over. Merry Christmas. Is that Austin?
All right, you ready to go?
So,
All right. Want me to introduce you? Or what?
Sure.
Okay, great. What's up, fellas? Good morning. I just kicked something. I don't know what it is. Hey, while we wait for the hall to fill up and we're going to get you guys fed, this is something that U.S. Bank stepped forward a few years ago. And I think you're going to enjoy it. I think your posture is going to change as the morning goes on. But a little, as you guys go through more and more things with money and finances, U.S. Bank said, hey, I want to help these guys out just with some ideas on managing money, and they've geared it towards you. So welcome my friend Esteban and the crew from U.S. Bank. Enjoy this. It's going to be a quick, enjoyable few minutes for you, and then we'll get the show on the road.
thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. Morning, guys. How you guys doing? Doing all right? Early? All right. Like Jeff said, my name is Esteban Sprunk. I'm with U.S. Bank. I've been a senior facilitator with them for almost 15 years. And like Jeff said, we've been doing this quite a while, been a few years now. I'm thinking over 6 years we've done this. And what we're going to be providing you is a quick credit seminar, all right? Because after football, after college, you're going to graduate. Your financial health is going to be with you for the rest of your life. With me today,
Good morning. I was loud. So, as Esteban said, my name is Dave Buchanan. Also work for U.S.
rent an apartment, okay?
period of time. The next one is revolving credit. This one generally is a variable rate. What do you mean by variable rate? The rate can go up or down depending on what the Fed decides to do with rates. Also, it can be tied to a credit card. It can be tied to some versions of a home equity loan. And generally you have a credit limit to the situation. So you're going to have a limit. You can borrow up to that limit and you will repay it over a period of time. But once again, it's going to be variable rates. Rate can change and it's tied to an overall credit limit. So there's 5 factors that impacts your credit that makes up your credit bureau. So credit bureau is what a bank, an insurance company, whoever's looking to establish credit to you will look at. And these 5 key factors make up your credit score. Who can tell me one of these 5 factors? Payments. Who said payments? That's one. Payments. That's one. Okay. What else?
Well, over here, credit history. Who's the
Credit
best?
history, yes.
Over here.
Credit history is one. What's another one? 2, 3 more.
Credit mix. Who said that right here?
Credit mix. Good.
Right here. Credit history over here.
Instant inquiries. Right over here. Credit inquiries. All right.
I think we got them all.
We got them all. So let's go and take a look at it. Let's talk about individually. So payment history is the most influential. It is important to pay your bills on time. It's important to pay them on time. If not, that's a 35% weighting or impact to your credit if you miss a payment. So what's considered late payment? How many days? 30 days, yes. So now you still can get charged a late fee if you miss it by 1 day, but for it to impact your credit bureau, it's going to be 30 days. 30 days. If you're late for 60 days up to 90 days, that could be a charge off. And that means that the company, they will take off that credit, but it's going to be on your credit bureau for at least 2 years. Okay. Amount owed is next. All right. We want to make sure that you're limiting the amounts of credit that you have out there because it's important to have credit, but there could be time we have too much credit that also can negatively impact your credit. A great example for this, when we talk about variable loans, if you're too close to your credit limit, it can impact the amounts that you owe there. Next, we look at credit history. So we want to see what type of credit you have over the years. We want you to have a good mixture of installment loans and revolving credit. Makes a good mix for history. New credit, if you have too much credit at once. Who's bought a car? Anybody ever bought a car? Okay. So what do they normally do when you buy a car? They run your credit, right? Okay. So how many places they run your credit to? It could be 1, it could be 2, it could be up to 5 or 6. Because they're trying to get you booked for that car loan. Okay. So you got to be really careful. You don't want your credit run too many times. So all these things work together to come up with what we call the FICO score or Fair Isaac score. And credit companies, banks, and so forth apply to that. And that's how we determine what your credit score is going to be and if we're going to make a lending decision based on your credit history. So Esteban's going to next go over some impacts to your credit.
So David just talked about the FICO score. Okay, so this is what a number that's going to take all this information and generate it. Anyone know what the highest FICO score you can get by chance? Close. Close. Who said that? I heard it over here too. Who said 850? Back there? I also get that one over there. That way. 850. All right. Now you're looking at this, folks, guys. This FICO score is going to be all those things. Now, Fair Isaacs and Company, it's an algorithm, right? And while they build it, they're not going to give us to it. So we have a little bits of pieces that can help us understand, how do I get that great credit score? Anyone know what the national average is right now? What is the national average FICO? I heard 540, higher. Higher. Someone said 750, lower. 680. Between 660 and 680 is the national average. Now, we've talked about FICO. We're going to show you how to look it up. Now, when you get to this range, you're probably thinking, okay, all these things affect my credit score. I know the highest I can get is 850. The national average between 660 and 680. What does this credit score determine when it comes to the two style of loans that you could apply for that David talked about? Who said that? Interest rates back there. Your interest rate, folks, guys, all right? So when you guys think about your interest rate, someone on this side can get, anyone, you look at your neighbor right there. You might be buying the exact same car for $20,000. Okay, let's say that's probably unrealistic, or like 40 or 50, right? But if your credit score is higher than your neighbor's, your payment might be close to $100 less. To where your neighbor, if they only have a lower credit score because they've missed some factors that we could talk about, well, guess what? Their payment could be $100 higher. Where do you think that interest goes to? The bank, right? It's a risk the bank takes to lend money. So when your credit score is higher, you're going to pay less in interest. When it's lower, you're going to pay more, which means in the end, you're going to be paying more for that vehicle than if you had better credit. So that's what is a big factor. So what are some things that can hurt your credit? David's spoken to a few of them. Your payments, right? Paying late, that could affect your score. What else? I heard too much credit. Where was that? Back there. Too much credit, right? If you overabundance of credit, or you're utilizing your revolving credit and keeping it maxed out, that could hurt your credit score. Yes, you got approved for it, but it's showing that you can't utilize what a credit card is for. You're maxing it out and not paying it down like you're supposed to. Let's look at a few more things that can affect your credit score, right? Too much available credit. If you apply for a lot of credit in a short-term time, and it could be different things that affect you, not just going for one car. If you go to a department store, gas card, all these things, if you do all these within a short period of time and get all these inquiries on your credit, it can hurt your score, right? Not to deter you from doing it, you got to be strategic on how you do it. Defaulting on accounts, David spoke about it a minute ago. 30 days past due. If you're late over 30 days on a payment, how long does that stay on your credit for? 2 years, right here, 2 years. So if I have a car payment that's due on January 1st, and I don't pay it till February 2nd, not only am I going to accrue late fees from the finance company, it's going to show a late on my credit bureau. That late is going to stay on there for 2 years, and that impacts your score. Okay. So if these things hurt your credit score, what can improve your credit score? Paying your bills on time. What else? Paying down your debt over here. We got a bunch over here, Austin, on the text side. What was that? Limit your credit request. What else? What you got? Anything else? What can help your credit? Making those payments, right? So pay your bills on time, pay down debt. Disputing, guys. All right. Accidents happen. Hiccups can happen on your credit bureau. Some of you might be using third-party companies. That's totally fine. What are some third-party companies that any of you use to check your credit? What was that? Back there? Credit Karma. What else? Experian. See, you're knowing about these things, right? These are great resources to watch your credit. Okay. Awesome. Back there. We have a resource for you. Okay. You can write this down. You actually got it on the sheet that's in, there's a couple of sheets of paper on your table called annualcreditreport.com. It's a free resource that allows you to look at your credit from all three major credit bureaus. Anyone know what those three major credit bureaus are? I heard Experian. What else? Equifax. TransUnion. Those are three major credit bureaus. And what we like, why we use this as a resource, is that not only can you check your credit, but if you see something that's not supposed to be on there, you could dispute it right there online. And they have 30 days to correct it, or it comes off. And you're actually dealing directly with one of those three major credit bureaus. Accidents happen, not often, but they do, okay? I've had it happen on my credit where I've had to dispute it right there. They fixed it and everything got better, okay? So that's where you're trying to look at the climb to 850. Now, one thing that's not on here is patience. I want you to think of credit like trust. It takes a lot of time to build, but it could take one hiccup to break. And it takes that time up again, all right? One thing that always comes up, I've had a question with a lot of our previous players that have come through here, is I have a credit card. I've had this credit card for a couple of years. I pay it off every month, but my credit's not growing. Anyone know why that is? Some of you might have the same thing. You have a credit card, you're paying it off every month, you're doing your due diligence with it, but you don't see your credit score improving. Why do you think that is? Because your bank, your financial institutions only send the report once a month. So if you're paying off your credit card bill every month, what is being sent to the credit bureau every month? Big goose egg. What is that telling the credit bureau? What does it look like not happening? You're not using it. That's what it looks like. So it looks like you just have it and you're not utilizing it. So advice we've provided is make those payments, but branch it out over a term, okay? If you make a large purchase, say you're buying a computer for the next semester, try not to pay it off. Pay it off in 3 months. Okay, the interest is not that bad for $400 or $500 computer. Pay it off over a couple of months. That shows you're utilizing the credit card that's supposed to be used by a large purchase and paying it down over time. That's going to show that utilization that, you know what, this individual is using the credit card the correct way and they're able to pay it down. What questions do you have on credit or anything we've spoken up to this point? Raise your hand. Questions or thoughts or just something, you have plans to do something in the future and you're thinking, how will credit affect something that I'd like to do later on? Anyone? Too early?
That question?
Yeah. So you have, let's say, 5,000 in credit card debt, and you want to pay that down month over month, right? That's going to be more of a budgeting. Okay, so you got to see what you're comfortable with. But as long as you're paying it down, that's where it's going to help you. So you have 5,000. You look at your monthly budget, say, I can attack 150, 200 of this every month and break it down. What's nice now, it happened about 10 years ago, is your credit card statements are required to have an amount that you have to pay. If you make the minimum payment, it's going to say it takes this long, takes 10 years, and that's how much you're paying on it. But if you make this payment, it'll take you 3 years to pay it down. So look at that on your statement, and that'll actually guide you. Okay, if I make this payment, I can start paying it down. And what the credit bureau wants you to see, what they want to see is that you're paying it down. Now, it's not a bad thing. If you maxed out a credit card, you pay it off, you pay it down and use it, pay it down, that high limit's going to show there. You're not going to be in trouble and you're not going to get any late fees, but all they're seeing is just like a zero. They're seeing 5,000 every month. So if you could start paying that down and breaking in big chunks or smaller, it really will actually increase your credit. Because, okay, this individual had 5,000 in debt. I'm going to pay it down 200 a month and X amount of months. 5 months, it's down to 4,000, and it's going to keep going down. That's going to increase your credit because they're going to see this person's responsible for doing that, but it's all much more on the budgeting side, but that will help your credit.
That's about another thing you might want to do if you have multiple pieces of credit out there that you owe on. Pay off the smaller amount first. So I say that you had maybe $500. Pay that one off first. Then whatever you're paying that $500 with that $500 one, apply that payment to pay off the next item as well. And that will help you get your credit paid down as well.
Definitely. Great question. Any other questions? Show of hands, I'm not going to call on you. I'm just curious. How many of you have plans of maybe opening a business one day? Raise them up. All that requires credit, you guys. Okay. That's a whole different type of credit, but it's called business credit. But as a business owner, you will be a guarantor for those loans as well, meaning that they're going to look at your personal credit to see if you're worthy of getting business credit. So for those of you, and I saw a good amount of hands popping up, if you have an interest in opening a business one day, credit is going to be a huge thing for you as well, because then you're going to have to utilize your personal credit to guarantee your business credit. So keep that in mind, and it starts now, okay? Because anyone know, and I'm not here to scare you, to prepare you, if you ever had to file for bankruptcy, does anyone know how long the range that depending on the type, that could stay on your credit bureau for? 7 to 10 years.
Over there.
A decade. A decade. So that's why you want to establish good credit habits now and not overextend yourself. Okay. You're going to go to buy a car one day, and it's nothing against dealerships. They're just trying to get you what they can, but they're going to come with a piece of paper with marker on it. And they're going to say, oh, based on what we see, you can make this payment. You're going to be thrilled. Like, oh, I can afford a car. But then you're going to be what we call car poor. All your money is going to go to that payment, and you're not going to have pretty much anything for anything else. So make sure you, not only do you focus on your credit, you also focus on your budget, on what you can live by comfortably. Any other questions?
Any questions over here?
Over here.
I think we're ready for a game.
Who wants to win some wireless headsets? Get your phones out, guys.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to play Cahoots. It's a game. We're going to get this competition going. So basically how it works is pretty much you want to get out your cell phones. We're going to put up the QR code up on the screen here. So what we want you to do is log into the QR code, give yourself a name, and we're going to reward the top performers, the wireless headsets. So, all right. So it's going to be coming up here shortly. So once that QR code comes up, scan it or input the 9-digit code there. So 374-3145. So download Kahoot. Download Kahoot. There we go. We're getting more names up here. Go to 25, 26, 32. Oh, there we go. I think we have about 150 individuals in here today. So up to 89. Just crossed over to 100. So how this is going to work, we have, I believe, 10 questions. We're going to, once everyone gets logged in, we're going to read the question. That's fine. We're going to read the question from the back. Your question, your answers are timed. So you want to make sure you get the right answer. So you want to be accurate, but you also want to answer as quickly as possible. That's going to help to determine who's the winners. So, okay, we're up to about how many? 1,
Around 130, 126.
Okay, we're getting close. Starting to slow down a little bit.
Give you about 10 seconds and we're going to get the game started.
So once again, it's important to be accurate, but quick. It's important to be accurate, but quick. All right. So we're up to 130. That's fine. We ready?
Let's do it. All
Let's
right.
do it.
Here we go.
First question. All right, here we go.
Who's ready to test your credit score knowledge? There's your answers. Color coded.
Just making sure everything's working right.
Yep. All right, here we go. I think this is our first question.
Let's go.
Quiz. How many top factors affect your FICO credit score? Ten
10
seconds.
seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, somebody.
All right.
82 of you are
82.
listening. Yeah, it's 5.
It's
5
5.
factors. 5 factors.
And let's see who comes in leads. Smitty, Cody. All right. All right.
Next question.
The points have started. True or false? Student loans will not affect my credit score.
We got some people right on that one quick.
One answered.
It is false. It is false.
All right. That brings. All right, Dave's up.
Hey.
All right, next question. What type of accounts impact a credit score? Focus on these.
What do we think? Say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See the answer.
Installment
go.
and revolving.
Hey,
Nice.
Esteban, we got some people listening.
All right.
Boss.
Boss at the top.
Boss is at the top. What happened to Dave?
All right, next question. True or false? Applying for lots of credit in a short time span can hurt my credit score.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That is
Look
true.
at
Nice
that.
job. There we go.
118. Got that one right.
It's about
See
speed
where we're
now.
at. Mikey.
All right, Mikey, BT boss. Here we go. 3 more questions. What is the highest credit score possible?
Slide the bar. All right, let's see the answer. All right, here we go. And 850. $850 is correct answer.
850. All right, let's see. What does that change?
Oh, okay.
All right, top 4. Look
All
at the
right.
top 4. Boss has dropped off. Quiz. To improve my credit score, I will
Like some of you thinking about this one. Five, four, three, two, one. See the answer. Ooh, limit the new credit requests and pay down debt.
All right. Let's see what that does to the changes. Word cloud. What'd you learn today, folks? What'd you learn today, guys? Throw it up there. Winners will be revealed next. About 7 seconds.
Let's take a look, see what we learned today. Pay off credit. How to improve my credit. Credit. How to build credit.
Credit, how to build credit. I don't know if the 6-7 is going to win, but all right. I think we have David. Where's David at?
Right here.
We have four prizes, right?
We have 4. Yes, we do.
So if you are the top 4, I was going to give the top 3. Stand up so we can get you your headsets.
So top 4. We're going to read your name, stand up, and we get you your headset.
Here we go.
Focus. All right. Go.
DJ. And there's 4.
All right, good job. Good job.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. Again, congratulations
Just raise it.
on some great season. Looking forward to the game tomorrow. See you guys all on the field. David, any closing comments?
Yeah. First of all, I just want to thank you for your time today. So once again, credit is something that stays with you for the rest of your life. So anything that you're planning on doing in the future can be impacted by your credit. So Esteban talked about the only way to correct your credit is through time. So take it serious. Make sure that you focus on it early, because if you don't, it can negatively impact you in several different ways that ultimately can cost you more money. So it's really important for you to focus on it, handle it with care. Don't do too many inquiries. Only borrow what you can actually afford to pay, and pay it down and pay it off as soon as possible. And you will build sustainable credit history, and you won't pay those extra fees that some other individuals may have to pay because they didn't take care of their credit. So once again, thank you all for your time. Good luck with the game tomorrow. So be excited to watch you play. Once again, welcome, and thanks for coming to New Mexico.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Granger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
This ad is about selling your home. And while you'd expect to hear all about the stress, here's nothing. Because Open Door is the opposite of chaos, with an all-cash offer to close in as little as 14 days. Open Door. Get your offer at opendoor.com/radio. Eligibility and offer price may vary.
Get ready for the most wonderful time of the year with exciting red tag savings available now on the 2026 Chevy Equinox. Blending style and versatility with a roomy interior that's loaded with intuitive tech and first-class comfort. Or choose great offers on the feature-packed tracks with ample cargo space, a large HD touchscreen, and more. It's an undeniable value. This holiday season, it all comes together in a Chevrolet. See your New Mexico Chevy dealers.
Oh, hey, welcome to gift wrapping. Whoa, Zoe Saldana.
Hey, can you wrap these, please?
Wow, iPhone 17s. You splurged.
At T-Mobile, you can get 4 iPhone 17s on them. The new center stage front camera is amazing for group selfies. It's the perfect gift for everyone.
I'm the worst. I only got my mom a robe.
Well, it's better than socks. Where are you going?
To T-Mobile. Thanks, Zoe.
The holidays are better at T-Mobile. Get 4 iPhone 17s on us. No trade-in needed when you switch. Plus 4 lines for just $25 a line.
Choose to lean into it. Every Mazda is engineered to give you effortless control.
I'll wake up.
Gain Super Flings are here to take your laundry to the next level.
Talking about Gain Super Flings. Super size laundry packs. These things are huge. Super fresh, super clean. Gain Super Flings.
Gain Super Flings laundry packs have 4 times the Oxy cleaning power and 3 times the Febreze freshness versus Gain Original Liquid.
Super fresh, super clean. Gain Super Flings.
Gain Super Flings for next level laundry.
Ticking clock. Stop. Everyone saying different things to me, different things to me. Everyone saying different things to me, different things to me. Do you believe what you see? It doesn't seem to be anybody else who agrees with me. Do you what you see? No, sure you see. Nothing is wasting my time in the waiting line. What you see? Not too bad. Everything. Everyone's taking everything, everything. Everyone's taking everything, everything. you feel. Doesn't seem to be anybody else who agrees with me. Do you? What you see? Marshall is sweet. Nothing is real. Wasting my time. Waiting up. What you see? Marshall. You see. What you see, motion is sweet, nothing is real. Wasting my time, waiting back. Do you believe what you see? Everyone saying different things to me. Everyone saying different things to me. Different things to me. Saying different things to me. Different things to me. Everyone saying different things to me. Different things.
What a matchup we got, y'all. This is that classic HBCU vibe. Non-stop action, the band is rocking, and the crowd lit. Chants echoing, drum beat, everybody showing that school pride. Game like this? Yeah, it calls for an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Wow, crisp and refreshing. No matter the sport, no matter the yard, everybody knows. Fan work is thirsty work. So grab a Coca-Cola and keep that HBCU pride going.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Check, check, check. Ladies and gentlemen, show some love to the San Diego State Aztecs Marching Band. Ladies and gentlemen, one more round of applause for the San Diego State Aztecs Marching Band. You always know it is yeah, one more time for them. One more time for them. Make some noise for the band, please, please. You always know when it's bowl season in New Mexico, when there are marching bands in ballrooms at Isleta Pueblo. The Mean Green Marching Band is on its way. They're en route. They will be here, I believe, for the pep rally this afternoon, which is when the real Battle of the Bands goes down, I'm told, this afternoon at the pep rally and at the game on Saturday. But yes, this is how we know, this is how we do bowl season in New Mexico. Bands right before lunch. So I'd like to welcome all of you, bienvenidos, as we say in the high desert, to New Mexico the day after Christmas. So Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Festivus, Solstice, all those things we celebrate. Thank you all for doing everything you did yesterday and being here today. Give yourselves a round of applause. Shortly after we have the blessing from the governor of Isleta Pueblo, I'm gonna bring up Jeff Sambieta to give you context really about the bowl and to celebrate this auspicious anniversary of the bowl this year. I'll be your master of ceremonies for the afternoon, Hakeem Bellamy, once upon a time, the poet laureate for the city of Albuquerque. And so before we bring the governor up to do a proper blessing on these tribal lands, those of you who know me and have seen me here year after year know I like to bring a poem. Can I bring a poem? Is y'all cool with that? I brought a brand new poem. It's not a New Mexico poem like it normally is. It's a Christmas poem instead. Okay, it's a New Mexico poem. It's called North Pole, New Mexico. When you tell people who are not from New Mexico that you are from New Mexico, from the look on their face, you might as well have just said you are from the North Pole. And they might be right. If for no other reason that here, we stay all the way up here, from where we Christmas daily at the crossroads of every breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And just like our Chile, it's deep. So much more than just red and green. In other words, our Las Posadas no quit. Here where bizcochitos and tamales are always in season, where on most days, it is not uncommon for families to find themselves up all night waiting for a miracle, making enough masa out of a midnight mass to nourish every last member of the multitudes with another mouth to feed. From where white Christmases are hard to come by, but brown bag Christmases are fire, literally. So don't be surprised when we bring beach sand and a baby bonfire and a brown paper sack to the potluck like we lost our way to the luau. Lost in migration with nothing but the northernmost star and these DIY night lights guiding us in. Whether it's Luminarias by the dozen or Farolitos by the ounce, nobody does Christmas like New Mexico, because here, Christmas is from here. North Pole, New Mexico, where Sandia Crest might as well be the top of the world, where we door to door like Mis Christmas carols and make a habit of lying to our children, whether they are naughty or nice, like, mijo, that donkey is in the nativity was a born again as a Christmas piñata, where we trade turtle dances for sugar plums dancing across the desert, where the feast days find us fat and jolly any time of year, here where even the deer spend the holidays praying for rain. Good morning, good afternoon. Yeah, thank you. So let me bring up the governor of of Isleta Pueblo, pardon me, to give boo. See, even the Pueblos are competitive, they're like, yo, bro, we don't even know Sandia like that. Why you do that? Isleta Pueblo, the governor of Isleta Pueblo, Governor Eugene Giron.
Well, can you please stop for a minute? Ono ko ngawin kawin kapakawan konsiliwen imuwen impiwen imhawin nai hinababu mui hinababu we into the waninai wala na hitim hinawi mi hinako kami hingwambam hinkuwambam ono ko yun yodama ono yun to the waninai nun hun huai wai na tu ai mo na na ti ono ko yun wada beida me shani wamu hono ko yung kabakitua tayo makumpoyo masyopoyo kim haawin ay te tukama te kuimpawa yun makuninay masutinay wada beida memwechi hi ku itin yoda na manakir popeni na tuire ihinay tawa hono ko wada menawe hinay kim haawin ni yogacha maki behi từ ba bộ trên ấy tin từ để mấy chế mấy qua hoa chế yeah now I con nó tay dùng kim họ ao này từ tụ cao mà từ con bao qua là tiết từ qua cầu từ qua sáng bôi coi hoa kiến tệ tụi mình dùng mồm bao khổ chụp bia từ đó này sáng này mấy bài phút từ khi thu raวันnày mà qua hồ hi mà qua chế vớiอยู่ที่โน่นพี่เอาเนี่ยมามาพัวมีมาชาเชื่อมีหูแวบบุชินทินคนหนุ่มมาขี้วันนี้มาคือวันนี้คนหนุ่มคือเต้นคือแต่อีน่ะคนหนุ่มคือมันดาวจีมันก็เอาเองแกเองเอา thank you please sit down good morning everybody it's an honor to be here as the governor Pueblo of Isleta and here at the Isleta Pueblo. I'd like to introduce my first lieutenant governor that is going to do a little speech.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Isleta Pueblo and to Isleta Resort and Casino. It's a great privilege to be here amongst all of you today, and congratulations to both teams to making it to the New Mexico Bowl. We know Isleta is a proud sponsor for the bowl, and we just like to wish both teams success on the field, and congratulations for making it this far. It's a great honor for Governor and I to be standing in front of all of you today. I know it's hard work that you all have lived. You live in your dreams and making this bowl game. I'm sure it's, you're going to remember this for the rest of your lives. And we just pray to our great spirits that you have an injury-free game. And like I said, congratulations to both teams. And it's a great honor to be standing in front of you and welcoming you to the New Mexico Bowl. And with that, with all due respect to both teams, I just like to say, go Lobos, who are playing this afternoon in a bowl game themselves. But anyway, just like to welcome, I know San Diego State is happy to hear that. So, but anyway, with that, I just like to say thank you for giving us this honor to speak in front of you. Thank you. And once again, congratulations on making it to the New Mexico Bowl. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Governor and Lieutenant Governor, for that blessing. That's one thing you're gonna learn about New Mexicans. We don't even have to be in the game to talk trash. That's how we roll. So we're gonna let y'all do what y'all do and eat first before I bring up the executive director of the Isleta New Mexico Bowl, Jeff Simbieta. And because you guys got a game tomorrow, we're gonna let the athletes eat first. And so how we have it set up, will y'all join me in giving a round of applause to the folks who are hosting us today, to all of your service staff and the cooks in the back who are not out here. We thank you for your service. But how we're gonna do this is teams, you first, right? We'll stand and then make a line and follow the buffet line all the way around and come back to your table. And when we feel like about 80% of the room has eaten and there's only 20% to 10% in line, we will proceed with the program. So you teams can rise and begin to line up along the wall behind me. The wall behind me.
This is the story of the one.
A. And I'm right back in the A. Smooth, I ain't leave him no trace. Rest on me, fresh out the chase. You got it off the display. I got it from the wrong way. I got it. And I go out the blank. Don't do this for the fame. Staking these Benjamin Franks. You rich, they don't give you no rank. You thinking it's that, but it ain't. They put on my back in that A. Then I walk on the way. Hey. I'm strong. Black man in my room. Can't beat me, I'm standing to toe. Get my thoughts back in the row. AP, I factory go. I begin back in that mode. Baby, got a drip like Ghana. I see how you mixing designer. My car's $500,000. I came a long way from my dollar. I still got some snakes and iguanas. I'm in the chase on the way to the commas. I hold a bank in the way I can fumble. A long way, but I'm getting out this tunnel. BS Stone, sit back, stroll, pull up Rolls truck. I might been the Rolls one, cut me stones. I might have stones, yeah. Stick on stones, yeah. I got the stone, yeah. I got the stone now. If you bite style rap, a 50 on hour. I see through the skies, yeah. I spend every time. Look at their faces for dogs, yeah. 6,000 times. Play with these rats, I'm a ball player. Flow like a butterfly, I'm on the beat. I take a shot in the pair of the seats. They see me popping, they staring at me. This ring, it cost me a hair on a key. I told my dentist to carrot my teeth. We racking the both take a beat. This launch out of 2003. Push started, you know I ain't leave. Forget, I'm pulling her on the catch. She do what I say, she gon' fetch. I'm in this without regrets. Jimmy and my crew by excess. I feel when I walk, I'm possessed. This road look good on my flesh. These roads was back to back, yes. I'm flying on this shit like a jet ski. Come on, can't test me. Influence, Dubai next week. She chocolate, she like Nestle. Got broccoli, pockets is healthy. Binoculars and they Balenci. I'm trying to make 200 young.
In early December, celebrations of our great game are being prepared across the country. Stages are measured, trophies are polished, confetti stuffed into boxes, and powder packed tightly into a tube where it will soon be ignited, lighting up the night sky. But here in New Mexico, where Native American heritage has been ingrained in the fabric of the Isleta New Mexico Bowl's history for 2 decades, the process of defining one's legacy begins long before the teams are selected and long before the fans have put the green chili on the slow cooker. For most fans, September signals the beginning of college football season, but there are concurrent beginnings happening here on the sacred land of the Zia Pueblo. North of Albuquerque, settled on a knoll, the Zia Pueblo land begins. Residing on this land are the Medinas, a family that has for generations preserved the art of Zia pottery. From this land comes the clay used to craft the redware, given its name from the distinct and intense red shade it produces after firing. These pieces of art, created by the Medinas, can be found in museums like the Peabody and Spurlock, and in college football trophy rooms in places like San Jose, Fort Collins, and here in Albuquerque. In fact, 13 different universities' trophy rooms have been transformed into art galleries. As every year since 2006, a hand-shaped and hand-painted clay pot is awarded to the winner of the Isleta New Mexico Bowl. Each trophy uniquely crafted and brightly painted white, adorned with the instantly recognizable Zia Sun symbol. But the journey the trophy takes, much like the autumn path that the New Mexico Bowl winner has followed, begins in September. On the banks of the Jemez River, Elizabeth and Marcellus Medina set out on the first sunrise of September, gathering materials needed for this year's trophy. Clay that is harvested from the land and ushered to life by the keepers of that land. Once the clay is cured, Elizabeth will begin shaping the pot. It will be placed into a handmade kiln. And once it is dry and strong, Marcellus will take his brush and begin painting, crafting a scene of nature, bees, hummingbirds, and the butterfly, all found in the Rio Grande Valley. But one space on the trophy is left blank until the right moment.
Congratulations to the New Mexico Lobos, the champions of the Gildan New Mexico.
This trophy, crafted from the land and its inhabitants, awaits that finishing touch for the 20th time. The sun will set on another college football season, but the Isleta New Mexico Bowl trophy, much like the Zia, will continue to shine for all to see.
Respect being part of a program that is bigger than yourself. We are all a part of this. A part of this team, a part of this city. Our creed is to protect past, present, and future Aztec warriors. You sacrifice everything to be an Aztec.
Can't stop me now.
Out of the 7 minutes. Fires over the middle. He's got a man caught. Touchdown.
Show up every day. Assume nothing. Earn your spot every single day.
And he's got the sideline. He's still alive. Down the sideline. It's intercepted by Morgan. Up the middle. Goes McGill. Touchdown. And the Mean Green win it. Do you believe in the Mean Green?
That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Engines red. Are you listening? It's that time of year again. Happy Honda Days, where you can drive in a Honda wonderland of your own with a great offer on a fun-to-drive new Accord, Civic, CR-V, or HR-V. Hurry into your local Honda dealer and experience the wonder of Happy Honda Days with a great deal on your favorite Honda today.
Driving in a Honda wonderland.
For great deals, visit your New Mexico Honda dealer today.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic SI and Type R.
All right, while our last diners are filling their plates, we're gonna move you forward in the program. I get the pleasure, I teased it a little bit. I've known Jeff Symbieta a long time, and it's an honor to know him, really, not just because of cool stuff like this, but Jeff is just like that, as we say, and you're about to find out why. Those of us who are local radio listeners might know Jeff Symbieta's voice from the opening drive on 95.9 AM, the sports animal. The rest of us know him as a legend because he was a 2015-2016 New Mexico Sports Broadcaster of the Year recipient by the New Mexico National Sports Media Association. So make some noise for that, and make some noise for the executive director of the Isleta New Mexico Bowl, Jeff Symbieta.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon. I think it's afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. And thank you so much for celebrating something that's really special to us. It's the 20th annual Isleta New Mexico Bowl. And everybody in this room has played a part in this or is soon to play a part in this. We can tell you a short story, and we're going to weave through this, and we're going to get you to the two-time Super Bowl champion, Robin Cole, because he's got great stories. But we started a little game, and we had an idea back in 2005, 2006 of playing a college football bowl game in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and had a vision of it becoming something special. And as we sit here today, we're on the cusp of our 20th with a nationally ranked team who's 11-2 and played in a conference championship game, and a 9-3 team who's got the number 5 defense in America. And we've been putting on spectacular games for the country to watch, for this destination to enjoy, and for student athletes to have experiences. And it's something that when we started, I wanted it to be something of which this community would be proud. And I hope we've gotten to that point. I want to say a few thank yous. And we are here at Isleta, at this casino and resort. And I want to say thank you to Governor, Lieutenant Governor Adriana Stacey, the partnership that we've got I say they're a title partner, they're not a title sponsor. But I am incredibly appreciative of the trust that you have put in our brand, the support that you give us, how you go about your everyday. So thank you for the title partnership and the friendship that we've created. And thank you for hosting us here at Isleta today. Yes, please. Our presenting sponsors, New Mexico Tourism Department and Secretary Lansing Adams, and Visit Albuquerque, and the CEO and President, Tanya Armenta. We've never had a better friend than Tanya. She's been a supporter from the day we went to the office and said, we've got an idea. And what we hope it's brought to the destination, both in tourism and people and in profile and attraction. I am incredibly grateful for your support and your friendship. And so thank you to Tanya, to Secretary Lansing Adams, and to New Mexico Tourism Department and Visit Albuquerque. You guys have met people around this room, and this is a community event. And our board was put together by Rudy Davalos back in 2006. Rudy went to get people together. And I'm not sure, and you've heard me say this before, but I'm not sure that y'all thought we'd be here 20 years later. I get this every once in a while. You thought we'd be around, I don't know, 6, 7 years, maybe. But, oh, sorry, stop it. But 20 years later, I was the only one dumb enough. All right, you smiled. Only one dumb enough to think we'd be here 2 decades later. We've got original board members here. We've got some first-time board members here. They are the backbone of what we do, and it is this community. And I'm going to ask our executive board to just put your fork down for a quick second, and please stand, because, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, these are the people who have been the backbone. So please, would our board please stand and be recognized. I want to say a special thank you to the people who are working, serving our food today, preparing the hospitality all week. Thank you for taking the time away from your families and making it special for these student athletes this week. Our staff, I appreciate what you've done and how you've done this, and you've made this special. You're going to be competing for what we believe is the most beautiful and most unique trophy and awards in all of sports. And when we started this event, and you've obviously seen the culture, the Native American culture, of which we are so proud. This trophy right here, for the 20th year, has been hand created and painted by Zia Pueblo artists. And I don't know if you saw the video, and if you didn't, Marty McGee of ESPN voiced the video, and it came out beautifully. It's on our social media. But Marcellus and Elizabeth are a couple from the Zia Pueblo. They dig the clay out of the earth. Elizabeth creates the pot. Marcellus has hand painted this. It is insanely beautiful. And they're in the back. And Marcellus, Elizabeth, if you'd stand and please be recognized, and for the work that you've done for 20 years. And thank you for your passion. They're in the back of the room. The player, the game shields are arts. They are handcrafted, hand painted for 19 years. Ralph Aragon did this, and Ralph passed away about 3 months ago, and his daughter Leslie carried it on the tradition, and they are beautiful pieces. They're called shields, leather with the feathers on them. They are hand painted, and they are flat out gorgeous. And the student athletes who get these, they're going to stand out in your room, and I hope you appreciate them a little bit when you win. I know you will, and the trophy will stand out. Up front is a squash blossom style necklace and a bolo tie, and those were made by Constance Epelus. She is a Zuni Pueblo artist, and Palms Trading Company. I don't know if Peter Berger's here. I haven't seen him, but he donated these. So a little incentive. The winning coach will get the beautiful bolo tie. The winning coach's wife will receive the squash blossom necklace, courtesy of Palms Trading Company and the artist whose name is Constance Epelus. So just how we're trying to wrap our culture into this event and what it means and how special we think it is. One last thank you to all our partners and our staff. Our staff is, I will put our staff against anybody in the bowl business. There's 2 of us that work full-time here, Monica and I. And when we've got a crew sitting in the back of the room that comes in from all over the country and all over the city and all over the state, and they fill lanes, and most of them have been with us for 15 years. We've added a few along the way. And the amount of inertia that goes into an event like this is amazing. And I love you. I appreciate you all being away from your families for the holidays or bringing your families into what we do. But this doesn't happen without you. I get to stand up here and get the pats on the back or the blame or however, but that's who gets it done. And it cannot ever be lost in that. All right. Did you see the College Football Playoff Championship trophy out there as well? The prize, that is the one that will be awarded to the College Football Playoff Champion, the biggest award in our sport. is out there. Modelo made that happen. And thank you to Greg Brown and Modelo for making that happen. And if you didn't get a chance to take a picture, do that. It'll be out at FanFest tomorrow. All right. I now would normally introduce the ESPN crew, Lowell Galindo and Aaron Murray and Lauren Sisler, who are going to be here. They're the talent on ESPN. They are on their way here today. They'll be here this afternoon. I'm pretty sure they're going to be here in time because Lauren's husband and Aaron have a tea time across the street at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So I know they'll be here in time for that. So I do switch hats. My morning job, I host the opening drive on The Sports Animal. Been doing that for 17 and a half years. So thank you. Somebody's listening, Jeff. See, somebody's listening. Check. Is this one on? And so I'm going to take the role of bringing up the two coaches. And I want to tell you about the football game that we've got because it is a spectacular football game. And guys, if you don't know, the 11 wins for North Texas, the 9 wins for San Diego State, the 20 combined, the most wins of any bowl game in America this year outside the college football playoff. Us and the Pop-Tart Bowl have 20 wins combined. The game that we have put together is spectacular. The number 1 offense in the country, the number 5 scoring defense in America. They played for a conference championship. They're 1 game away from the college football playoff. They were co-champions of the Mountain West and a 4-way tie at the top. This is the 3rd year in a row we've had a team here in this game who's played a conference championship, and this is a testament to what you all have done and watched this game grow. So as Lowell would do and those guys would do, I'm going to bring up the coaches real quick and let them talk to you, and we'll start with visitors. And it's a pleasure to really get to know Coach Svoboda over the last couple of days. As you know, or maybe you don't know, maybe some of you don't know, North Texas had a coaching change. Success brings change. And Coach Morris has moved on and said, Coach Svoboda, you're going to be the interim head coach, and you are going to lead this team into a bowl game. And he's done a heck of a job keeping this thing together. Ladies and gentlemen, the interim head coach of North Texas Mean Green, Drew Svoboda. One of those is going to work. I don't know.
Check. Test 1, 2.
Oh, they both work. Coach, first of all, congratulations on a great season. You come in here, the change is sometimes uncomfortable, right? And holding this thing together, what has been so key to these young men to want to stay together, play together, and get this job done? Because I know winning 12 games has never been done at North Texas, and they've got an opportunity to win 12 games.
Yeah, I think the first thing when the transition happened, our athletic director, the leadership of Jared Mosley, and putting a plan in place to really carry this thing through the finish line. And that's a big part of this football team. When we started about 11 months ago in becoming a family and a tight-knit group, the journey began at that point, and it wasn't over until it's over. And so there wasn't much convincing that had to be done. With this group of young men and these coaches, we've committed to see this thing through, and we are really grateful and ecstatic to be here and have this opportunity to play in this football game.
You look at a group when there's good seasons, there's great seasons, and then there's special seasons, and this is an opportunity. What makes this particular group special in your mind?
Well, I think that's probably the biggest challenge with a lot of coaches in today's landscape is how you can put a team together in a short amount of time and make everybody believe in the same goals and get them on board and make sure that we're all vertically aligned. And in this football team, the leadership, it's a blend of old and young players, which all football teams are, but the senior leadership and really some of the leadership from some of the underclassmen really make it easy. They set the tone. There's no convincing that has to be done. And I just think that's what's unique about it. We thought we had something special when we started. You never really know until you face adversity as a football team. And we did that early on and pulled through. And so it just kind of reinforced what we thought this football team was made of. So that's kind of where it is.
Watch the respect that these two teams have had and watch the student athletes interact. Obviously, San Diego State got your attention. I hear all the time it's your offense against their defense. And I'm like, well, wait a minute now. I mean, you guys got a defense and they got an offense, right? It's two sides of the football would win this game, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, all 3 phases, actually. They do a great job in all 3 phases. They're a good football team. It's a formidable opponent. They're sometimes certain teams get tagged with certain identities, but, we do not take this opponent lightly. When we saw who we were playing, instantly there was everybody kind of sat up straight in their seat, and we knew the challenge in front of us. They're a good, tough football team. Coach Lewis does a great job. You can tell they have an identity. You don't have to look for it. It jumps off the screen at you when you watch them. So, it's going to be a great football game.
Appreciate everything this week. Hope you had a great week. Congratulations on a great season. Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate you having us.
Drew Svoboda. Hey, can I, right before I bring up Coach Lewis, so one of my favorite things about this job is this week where I get to meet some of the student athletes. And I wish I could have sat at all the tables, but the conversations that I've had in the elevators or at events or just walking through the halls, I've been thoroughly impressed by the focus, but the maturity, the courtesy, the respect. So, gentlemen, from me, and whatever it means coming from this old fat bald guy, I'm impressed with you. Thank you for the way you have been in our community. Thank you for the respect you've shown. Coach Lewis and JD and Coach Svoboda and Jared, be proud of these young men because they represented their institutions incredibly well. But more so, guys, you represented yourselves well. And be proud of the way you are and the young men you are. It's easy to be a great, well, it's not easy to be a great athlete, but there's a lot of great athletes, and you all are. But you're great young men, and for whatever that means, thank you. And those of you who went out, we did a community visit yesterday. Some of you went out to a care home, and I want you to know you made an impact. There's some elderly that nobody would have visited those people on Christmas Day if some of these student athletes didn't go out there and do a social hour with them. And hopefully you got something out of it, but thank you for going into our community. And I'm telling you, it was tangible. So to the student athletes who did that yesterday, thank you for doing it. You made a difference. So thank you so much. San Diego State University is having a special season as well. Aztecs went 9-3, finished tied atop the Mountain West Conference. They are co-champions of the regular season. Quite a turnaround, and it's just an exciting number 5 scoring defense in America, one of the best defenses in America, but they got an offense too, and they'll move the ball. Their head coach is walking his way up. Please welcome Sean Lewis. Sean, congratulations on a great season, and you bring a group in here that I know is hungry, and there's a magic number for you, right? To win 10 games and finish this thing off the right way, that obviously means something for this group, and I've sensed it all week.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys have done a tremendous job all year, and thanks for the hospitality. It's awesome to be back in Albuquerque. And yeah, we have an opportunity here for this group to leave a legacy, to be the 10th team in the history of our proud program, to have double-digit wins or more. So excited to compete against a great team, great opponent, and ready to get it on. What's the motivator for these guys? We listen a lot with bowl season, and I don't know, man, what I've experienced in Albuquerque, New Mexico this week is 2 groups of student athletes who it means a whole lot to. Yeah, I mean, we got a room full of football players and football coaches, right? And you and your committee and the city have done an unbelievable job of putting together a first-class opportunity for us to play football. So I don't know, I'm a pretty simple man. We get an opportunity to play ball with our guys one last time. We got an opportunity to continue to practice and get better and develop our programs on both sides of the aisle here. And so we get an opportunity to go play. And I mean, since the very beginning, when these guys were young, like you go knock on your neighbor's door and say, hey, let's go play ball. And so we get to go play ball now. So let's put the ball down. Let's get it on. I've heard that a lot the last few days. It's the love of the game. I'm not quitting on my team. I love playing ball. This is what I do. Why wouldn't I play? And I feel that a lot. You saw the matchup when it came down on bowl day. You realized, dang, you flipped on the tape. You saw what you saw. It's not just their offense against your defense, right? You two have an offense. They too have a defense. But what you see when you turn on the tape? Yeah, I mean, 2 great complete teams, right? I mean, in all 3 phases, as Coach Svoboda alluded to, and I mean, the identity that North Texas has, the way that they play, the connection that they have. I mean, those are things that you can't fake, right? And so your group has done an unbelievable job of putting 2 great teams together. That's going to be a high-quality football game, and it's going to be an exciting matchup tomorrow afternoon. Best of luck to you. We wish you and the Aztecs and the Mean Green best of luck. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it. Thank you. Go Aztecs. Sean Lewis, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'm going to get out of the way, let a Super Bowl champ and a multi-time Pro Bowler come up. But from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you
for every person in this room that has not only gotten us to today, but gotten us through the last 20 years. We got a lot more life left in this game and a lot more growth. Pep rally this afternoon. Both bands will be there. We'll open up Fan Fest tomorrow at noon and 3:45 kickoff. This is one of the best bowl matchups in America. Millions of people are going to watch it, boys. Go out and put on a show, and best of luck to both teams. Go finish and play hard. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're in for a treat today. It is not often that this high up, a mile high, you have a member of the legendary Steel Curtain in the house. Any Steelers fans in the building? Me and Joe Green, I hear y'all. I hear you, Texas. I hear you, Texas. Taken 21st overall in the first round of the 1977 NFL Draft, Robin Cole is a two-time Super Bowl champion with the Pittsburgh Steelers. For those who are counting at home, that's Super Bowl 13 and 14, playing in 166 games and racking up over 20 sacks over his NFL career. Cole is an All-Pro, a Pro Bowler, a Western Athletic Conference Defensive Player of the Year in 1976, and an inductee to the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame from his time playing football right here at the University of New Mexico. In fact, when you pull up on the stadium tomorrow, you're going to see him on the side of it. Straight out of Compton and the pride of Compton High School. Make some noise for Mr. Robin Cole.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm excited about this, man. An opportunity to come back to New Mexico, my second home, a place that I've loved, I fell in love with from the start. Being recruited back in 1973, it's tremendous. And one of the things that I wanted to do back in the day was to play in a bowl game like you guys are, so I'm jealous of you, okay? You guys get the opportunity to play in the bowl game. I did not get an opportunity to play in a bowl game, even though we played a lot of games and we had a lot of fun as a team, but I didn't get that opportunity to do that. So you're doing something that I didn't get the opportunity to do. And I love you for it. I thank you for it and continue your work that you guys are doing. Congratulations to both teams. Also, congratulations to both of the coaches and the coaching staff. Congratulations to the leadership from both of your schools. This is tremendous. This is a great opportunity to be a part of that. I want to thank Jeff, ESPN, for giving me the opportunity to come here and just be a part of this and just absorb some of this and breathe some of this air in. You know, this is great, great. I mean, he said earlier that I was straight out of Compton, so I'll start there. Compton High School. I was one of 10 children. I was number 7th. Okay, a lot of things used to happen in our neighborhood back in the day. Then it came a time it got worse. Then it got better. Right now, I think it's pretty good right now. But I can remember my grandmother coming in, and on a corner, we lived 2 houses from the corner, and it was a dark corner where there was a lot of vines that we used to grow up on this person that had a fenced-in house on the corner of their home. And there was a little spot there where you walked in, right on the corner. You walked in. This is off of Alondra and Aprillo, which is off of Central. And you walk in, it was like a hiding place for you. And a lot of people, the bus would stop right there. And so people would be standing back there if it would rain. It would keep rain off their head for a little while. So people would just stand there and stay out of the weather. Sometimes we would just hide there. We would play hide and seek in the neighborhood. And that was a good hiding spot for a lot of us. But I can remember this time my grandmother came home, had caught the bus because she stayed home with us. So it was 13 people that stayed in this little house. And this wasn't a ranch or a colonial or Tudor home like some of you guys may have lived in. This was just a settle for. And that was the one that my mom and dad just settled for. And it was set between other settle fors too. So we were all stuffed in there. I mean, bedroom, we got 8 boys in one bedroom, okay? And I'm not talking about 14 by 25 bedroom. I'm talking about a little bedroom. I mean, we had 3 beds. That was the 3 bunks like the 3 Stooges used to have. Then we had 2 bunks over here. And then we had a double always in the room because the young guys always slept together. Okay. In fact, I didn't start sleeping alone until I got married. I mean, that was just one of those times. So now grandma is waiting on the bus. Okay. And no, she get dropped off on the bus, and her grandma's walking around the corner, and every once in a while, for some reason, there was always somebody hanging out on the corner trying to, take something from somebody. And now my grandmother comes in with her clothes all twisted, and she's in the bedroom back talking to her sister, which was my aunt. And she said, Jeannie, that man grabbed me. And so the guy grabbed her and was, wrestling her. And the guy was reaching. First, the guy started off grabbing. He asked her for her money. He said, give me your money. She said, I don't have any money on me, son. She said, give me your money. She said, I don't have any money. Then he started reaching her Brazil. Back in the day, our parents used to keep their money in the Brazils, or, the brassieres back in the day. And he's pulling all in. He got his hands all in the brassiere, twisting it around and all that kind of stuff. And she told my aunt, he said one more time, give me your money. And she said, I don't have any money on me, son. But if you keep that up, I'll write you a check. Boy, we used to have a whole lot of fun. A whole lot of fun. I can remember coming to the University of New Mexico my very first time here at the university, and they didn't have my major. I had no idea what I was going to do because they didn't have my major. And I didn't think to ask them. I had visited a couple other schools prior to that time. And my major wasn't available. It said no criminology. So I had to decide to do something else, which I did. And I can remember a meeting room similar to this. When all of the coach said we're going to have it's going to be a press kind of day, and all the press from the local area, they were going to be there in that room. And all the press was in this room, and then the players started coming in. There's about 65 of us that year to receive scholarships. And so we're sitting, and I'm sitting at a table in the back, and me along with two other guys. And the press walked around and talked to a lot of guys and asked them questions, and I was excited about what I was seeing, because the more they talked to different players, the more I kind of thought that these guys were going to be, some of the top players on our team. And I was looking forward to being a part of that team and playing with these guys. In that whole event, the room started clearing out. And after the room started to clear out a little bit, it got lit thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. And I was sitting in the back. I said, I guess nobody's going to talk to us. And so I stood up and began to walk. And one of the reporters stopped me and he said, hey, Robin, he didn't ask me, he asked my name first. I said, I'm Robin Cole. I'm from Compton, California. He said, what do you think about all this? I said, this is fantastic. You get an opportunity to come here, share some of your story, where you're from, sometimes your hopes and dreams. And then you guys talk about it, and you guys get a chance to send a little ad, a paragraph or two back to the hometown. And he said, well, what are your plans here? I said, do you really want to know? He said, yes. I said, well, I'm going to try to make the varsity football team. He said, oh, freshman doesn't play varsity here. I said, well, can they play varsity here? He said, yeah. I said, well, then let me try to be the first. He said, oh, well, we don't know much about that. I said, well, he said, what else? What other goals do you have? I said, well, I would love to be, you guys don't have any All-Americans out of this school that I know about or anybody knows about. I said, I'd love to be an All-American. He said, All-American? I said, yeah. He said, wait. He said, hold it. Wait right here. I'll be back. And he came back with two other writers. And they began to question me. And I was sharing my goals. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just talking about what I had written down before I came to the university. And I began to share those goals with them. Just like each and every one of us, we have goals and we have things that we want to do and things that we want to accomplish. And that's the reason we're here. And they began to ask me a little bit more. And I said, well, you don't have All-American here. I said, well, and you guys don't have a first-round draft pick to ever come out of here. I said, first-round draft pick? What are you talking about? You're at the wrong school, son. And I said, well, I'm just sharing with you my goal. And that was at 17 years old. I didn't turn 18 until September the 11th. We had already reported before my birthday. But to share with you sometimes how strong a vision and a goal can be, like your coaches that have worked, as you guys work together this year to be in a bowl game today, or to be in a bowl game this weekend and be a part of that tomorrow. It's very, very, very strong. Because some of the dreams and the visions that you guys had, I had before in my career. Took 4 years to become a part of that first round draft pick. Took a couple of years, 4 years to become an All-American. But things like that can happen for each and every one of us and have happened along the way for each and every one of us. But the thing that I really want to talk about today that's a little different that we don't hear a whole lot about until we get in trouble. When our backs are up against the wall and we're sitting there because we made a decision that we shouldn't have made, and that's integrity. We don't talk about integrity as much as we talk about the challenges that we have and the problems that we have, and somebody else has got in trouble again. But there's something that we were all, as we were young people, even in elementary school, that our grandparents and our parents used to talk to us about. What kind of person are you? And how far that goes in your life. You reach the age of 70 years old, and when people walk up to you and say, hey, I can remember you, or somebody said that you were a good person. Wearing the badge of integrity. And I'll say to each and every one of you guys right now as players, there's something about when you're picked. When you're in elementary school, you get picked for a team. You don't know what you want to play. You're not sure if you're good enough to play a certain position. And so coaches kind of help pick you to play. Let's try this position and let's try that. And James, let's just try this over here. You pick to try all these positions. By the time you get to the coach's level, it's a little bit different than being picked, because then you're chosen. And when you're chosen to do something, or somebody chooses you, they don't only choose you because the way your hair looks and the way you smile and if you brush your teeth or not. It's bigger than that. And being chosen also carries with it something called leadership. We're in a room right now, just a handful of football players. It's not that many of us. When we look throughout the United States of how many athletes are playing this sport at your level, there's not that many. With it comes an expectation of doing the right thing, learning how to be the right person. That is something that we'll talk about you for 50 years. Or we'll go back and we'll read a newspaper clipping of that, something that you may have gotten in trouble doing, or you were a part of some type of thing or some party and you were just hanging out there and all of a sudden, boom, you're a part of it. Or you could have been even the leader of it. And we're always thrown up in the press. Those guys or that guy or whatever it may be. Being chosen with it comes that badge of expectation that we expected you to be just a little bit better than the regular guy or the regular gal or that regular person. We expect a little bit more out of you. And that's throughout the world. And it being such a small number, I know when we're together and we're a team, we think, oh, yeah, we're part of a big group. It's not a big group that you're part of. It's a very small group. You're gifted, and you're gifted with the opportunity or blessed with the opportunity to be doing and having a chance to do what you do. And that's having fun, playing a game that everybody loves, but with it comes expectations. Now I'll say right now, he who has ears, I want you to hear it. Because a lot of us, it'll go right over our head. And what I'm talking about with you today, we'll be reading about you in 2 years because you just missed it. You had the capabilities, but it just went over your head. And then we start all over again. I don't want you to miss it. I want you to be the leader that your community expects you to be. I want you to be the stand-up person that your family expects you to be. When I left Compton, California, when I came to the University of New Mexico, I can remember when they were having some challenges on the campus, and they were talking about black players and white players and all that kind of stuff. And I said, I really don't have time for that. I came here to take care of business. Okay. And we ended up a lot of conversation, but I remember telling the reporter was talking, he said, well, Robin, aren't you going to be a part of the group? I am a part of the group. I'm supporting the group. But I have a grandma and a mother and a father and brothers and sisters in Compton, California that are expecting me to stand higher than that for the time being. I'll learn all about it along the way, but I don't need to be in the middle of it right now because it can hurt myself, and they're expecting more from me than that. A lot of times we come to a campus and we think, well, we're the only person. Nobody cares about me. Those people in your community are waiting and to see if you're going to make a difference. And you make a difference by the way you carry yourself. And you wear that badge of integrity. Yeah, everybody else is doing it. So freaking what? There's people that have expectations of what I'm doing while I'm away. And I need to step up my game. I need to be that woman that steps up. I need to be that man that steps up. We can all make excuses after we do something wrong. We don't have to go to jail. We don't have to get caught doing something silly and stupid before we realize what the truth really is. Your coaches are talking about these kinds of things all the time to us. All the time. And year after year after year after year, year after year, we would lose somebody. Somebody would end up in trouble, even at the professional level. Somebody would end up in trouble. Things that didn't make any sense. We don't have to do that. We're a small number. People expect us to walk up straight. People expect us to not say things about people that we don't have to say anything about. They expect us to be encouragers. This is the kind of things that we do. We're in the locker room all the time trying to encourage one another on the field. People expect for us, when we come out looking for a job, they expect you to be an encourager. They expect for you to come around and lift somebody up, not put them down. These are the expectations. I'm 50 years removed from it. And I'm seeing it all the time. This is what's expected of you. Sorry. That's what they expect. Okay. And I expect it too. And I just hope and pray that each and every one of you guys realize it. And as you move on and get a little older, you can share that with the undergrads that's coming in behind you. That you can make a difference in touching their lives. Because that's what we're going to remember. Oh, we remember some laughs, some giggles, and some good things when we're traveling together somewhere along the line. We remember some of those stories. I had a story. Anybody ever heard of Joe Green? People over there may have heard of. Anybody heard of Mean Joe Green? Ever? Mean Joe Green presented to the team with a motivational speech that he didn't realize it was a motivational speech. We're playing the Denver Broncos in 1977. We lost the game. One of the things that happened on the football field was Joe uppercutted the offensive guard and knocked him out, and we had to stop the game for about 15 minutes. And I remember Joe coming back to the huddle, and I said, "What happened, Joe?" I mean, this is timeout. We had a long timeout. I said, "What happened, Joe?" He said, "I told him to stop holding me." I said, "Yeah, you did tell him to stop holding you. If you knew Joe Green, when he said stop holding you, he'll figure out a way to get you off." And he uppercut Howard here. Wow! He fell on the ground. Boom! I mean, when I saw him fall, I dropped into a zone. I'm looking back, looking at the quarterback, trying to read the quarterback, and I see in front of the quarterback, this guy just dropped on the ground. And when he dropped on the ground, first thing that I did, I looked up in the stands because I thought he got shot. I mean, he just boom. So I'm looking up in the stands like, what's happening? You know, backing up. What's going on here? Oh, we get to the huddle. You know, it's called timeout, and Joe's trying to explain to us what happened. So then we lose the game, and Joe's very upset. So we get on an airplane. Get on the airplane, Joe comes on kind of like the end. And we normally start to relax. And, you know, some of us have cards that we played. Back in our day, we had backgammon boards. So when we played games, we kind of played games with one another and was able to have a conversation at the same time. A little different than you guys today with the telephones. You guys can do your own thing, okay? That's kind of what I do at my age now, my own thing. But Joe gets on the plane, he reaches around, the guy has a backgammon board there. He reaches that backgammon board as the Smith brothers was sitting in the first row. Reached underneath the backgammon board, and I'm watching him because I'm watching my roomie. Backgammon board goes up to the ceiling of the plane, pieces went everywhere. And right there, I'm sitting next to a guy by the name of Dirt Winston. So Dennis Winston said, put the board away, put the board away. So we put our board away, and Joe began to talk. Like I said, Joe was very upset. So Joe says, some of you guys didn't come to camp. He started talking about camp. I said, what are you? I mean, the season's almost over. We should have had this conversation early on in the season. He says, well, some of you guys didn't come to camp ready. You came to camp to get in shape. That's what he was saying. Well, yeah, I was kind of, you know, me being a rookie, I'm kind of thinking, well, I knew the rookies had to come in ready. So we're kind of figuring out, is this the way to do it? He said, some of you guys act like you don't want to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And everybody kind of checked themselves. Huh? That's not me. So the ones that don't want to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the plane's engines, you hear the man like, rrr. So the ones that don't want to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I want you to get your so-and-so off the plane now. I said, is Joe joking around or what? You know, the plane is revving out there. He said, we're not leaving until you get off the plane. And he mentioned up front to the pilots, he said, we are not taking off until the people that don't want to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers get off the freaking plane. And we sat there for 15 minutes. And I'm thinking, I said, this man is really serious. So then he came back. He said, all right, since all of you guys stayed, that means you want to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this is the way you're going to come to camp next year. You're going to come to camp in shape. You're going to come to camp ready. You're going to come to camp over and over and over again. And when he got done, he sat down. That was the quiet, and I never flew home again as quiet as that plane trip after that playoff game. Very quiet. Guys reported back the next year, and we were presented with Super Bowl 13. I said, man, that's a pretty good speech the guy made, okay? But the speech was so good, we went back to back. 1979, we won another one. And I'm saying, God dang, you know, sometimes a speech can be, you never know where it can come from. We went to back on that speech from Joe. A great speech. A great speech. It's just something about when you get yourself focused on what you want to do and how you want to go about doing it, you can make it happen. And that still ties into integrity. It's something about when you make a decision, it's making a decision what you want to do and how you want to go about doing it. And understand the expectations that people have that's around you and that's among you. Not everybody's blessed with the opportunity that you guys are getting, not the opportunity that guys are getting all over this country to be able to be a leader. Oh, you don't have to be a big talker. You lead by example. The person you are, who are you? What do you truly want to become? And the love you have for your brothers, your families, and hopefully the love you have for life. You've been blessed. And I pray that that blessing continues for the rest of your lives. And with that, I'll end it.
Thank you so much for being here, Mr. Cole. What I'm leaving with is learning how to be the right person. And that man doesn't just talk about it, he lives it. If you look up his bio online, you're gonna see that he's been on the board of dozens of philanthropic and nonprofit organizations in the Pittsburgh area. And so he's not asking y'all to do or be anything that he hasn't been himself. So one more time for Mr. Robin Cole. And as a former poet laureate for the city of Albuquerque, it's more than just reading poems to rooms of people who are like, what? Poetry? It is also being an ambassador for the city. And so I want to double up on what Jeff said earlier and thank you all for investing in my community yesterday during your community day. Really, we appreciate it here in the high desert. So give yourselves a round of applause. And with that, I'm going to release you because apparently y'all have things to do today prior to the game, right? So we're going to let you guys go. I think Jeff also mentioned, though, don't forget if there's still an opportunity, I don't know if it's still out there, to take a picture with the CFP trophy or tell your friends who will be at the game tomorrow, friends and family, that it will be in the fan zone. Other than that, we wish you safety, a good game tomorrow. Please don't hurt yourselves and have a good rest of your school year. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like an autograph from Mr. Cole, he will be up here stage right. A picture. There we go. There's my mic. If you would like a picture with Mr. Cole, he will be up here stage right at the table to my right. Stage right, your left.